Let's now welcome in the head coach of Wake Forest, Dave Clawson. We just showed Jashin Davis, and we spoke to him earlier in addition to Devontae. How do you get guys like that in today's culture of the transfer portals to come back to Wake Forest and say, hey, what you have instilled here with this culture, this is what I want?
We can now pay them.
Not wrong.
No. A year ago, I was sitting here, and none of those guys came back. And we've started to adjust to college football in 2024. And it's more than that. I'm trying to be a little bit funny with that. But, you know, Jashin Davis, you know, got like a 4th, 5th round grade. And he wants to be a 1st or 2nd round draft pick. He is a semester away from graduating. He wants to get a Wake Forest degree. And we now have a collective that we don't lose those guys. And so just the fact that we have, you know, Jashin Davis, a 5th-year guy who could be in the NFL, Devontae Gordon, a 6th-year guy who could be in the NFL, and Taylor Marin, it's a combination of all those things. They enjoy Wake Forest. They want to get their degree or their second degrees. And, you know, we now have a collective that we didn't have a year ago. And so that's part of the reason why we have 17 starters back. And that is part of college football in 2024.
Interesting, because I was having a conversation with Taylor and Javonte this morning about older guys playing college football, right? Those leadership qualities for your program are critical, though, right? Guys like Taylor, guys like Donovan Green. I mean, that's just an element of what you've built in Winston-Salem.
That was our mousetrap to become a good competitive ACC football team. Get guys a little under the radar. The opportunity to get a Wake Forest degree kept them there. Mm-hmm. And then we became an older football team. And that formula worked really well for 7 years. And then last year, because of a lot of different reasons, it kind of blew up on us. And I think we're getting back to how we built the program in a way that reflects college football in 2024. So we've had to evolve. We've had to change as a program, as an institution, as an athletic department. And I think we've taken steps to do that, and I'm hopeful we'll continue to do that. And if we do that, I think we'll remain a competitive and a good football program.
You know, you get to the afternoon session of day 3, and you guys have been asked the same question 1,000 different times, which reminds me, in May, I'm sitting at this outside bar called Dar Poeta in Trastevere in Italy. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, the wine's great, the pasta's great. What's Dave Clawson doing? All right, so here you go on the road. You got all these transfers. You are a foodie. I'm a foodie. Justin's a foodie. So I want to know the best. I'm on a recruiting trip or a transfer portal trip.
Good question.
It could be on the back roads of Louisiana. It could be right down the street in Winston-Salem. I don't know where you're going to take me. So take me somewhere, Coach. Where are we going?
Well, this – you're saying over my entire career?
No, since we've really seen this 24 calendar.
Oh.
See, now there's a question you haven't had yet today.
Yeah, like I want to go back to 1996.
Go for it.
On the coast of California. I recruited an offensive lineman when I was at Villanova from St. Francis High School in San Francisco, and his house was down near Carmel and Pebble Beach.
That's my other stomping ground.
And there was this little seafood bar at the end of a pier that is still, when I talk about it, my mouth waters.
Wow.
And so that kind of triggered, like his father said, if you're going to grab dinner, this is where you need to go. And so one of the things I do with our coaches is anytime we recruit, find the good local spot. Let's not go to a chain. And find the best local spot. And there's been so many good hits over the years. And but you also get some of the parents cook for you, and you get some great home meals.
You know, and again, I don't have the schedules memorized, but the trip from Carmel to Palo Alto is about 2 hours. And I don't know if Stanford's coming, going, or whatever, but eventually you're getting back out there, you know. That may be a doable long weekend trip.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be around our football game. I keep encouraging our coaches to find a recruit out there.
There it is, October 26th.
Stanford, October 26th.
There's a little bit of temptation to have the plane come back 2 days later so I can hit that joint again.
Well, you know, you get out there. Listen, my birthday's October 19th. I think you get out there on about the 23rd and just kind of get a lay of the land and maybe pick up a few recruits for the 25-26 class. get a great meal, and go play some football out there in Palo Alto. How about that?
That's a good weekend for me.
All right, Coach, let's
go.
continue this food theme. You just upset a top 25 opponent. The perfect post-game dish for you.
Well, so much of why you enjoy food is who you share the meal with.
That's right.
Right? And so, I could have a very simple meal and love it if I'm with my wife and my 2 kids. And I think, when you have big moments in life, it's more who than what. And so usually after a game, a big win, I just want to be with my family. And then when you take trips and vacations, you look up where the best spot to go is, and that adds to the memory of the place. When we were one year we took a cruise and we went to a place called Noma that was in Copenhagen, Denmark, and that was a memorable occasion for our family. And I didn't do as much of that this summer. We didn't take a big trip. We stayed local. When you're 4-8, you buckle down, and there's a lot more. You don't enjoy those trips as much when you come off of a bad season.
I got a place for you. Again, not now, but I mean just down the road. And then get in your car and go. There's a place called The Swag in Waynesville, North Carolina. From Winston, it's a piece of cake.
What type of cuisine?
Anything you want. Spectacular. Your kind of place. Nobody will know you. You just get up there, fireplace, all the food's there. You're in the middle of nowhere. Spectacular.
We've quickly turned into the Food Network.
Well,
by the way.
what I'd love to do is have a great season, win an ACC championship, and that'd be the way to celebrate it.
There you go. I'm just again, that's me to you, because I know you're sick and tired of football questions. So there it is.
I'm gonna go football here real
Oh,
quick.
come on, Wes.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna ruin it.
Thank you for being the adult, Wes.
I am. So you're getting ready for the fall. You've had your spring. I know you've done your post-spring stuff. You've done your roster stuff. You've looked at the grid from high school and things like that. What's the biggest point of emphasis for this football team based on last year and the names, the familiar names you've got on this roster to get you back to where you're accustomed to being and proud of at your Wake Forest?
Well, really, that's a twofold question. So first of all, that when you go 4-8, there's a reason you go 4-8. And again, we had some personnel losses and all that, but that's not why we struggled. At Wake Forest, we have been a team that doesn't beat itself.
Right.
And last year we turned the football over. We had 22 turnovers. That's not what we do when we play winning football. The amount of times that we would have a false start on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, those were things uncharacteristic that made me look in the mirror and say, I didn't do a great job. Because all those, you can say, well, you lost this, but at the end of the day, that's not why you false start. That's not why you turn the ball over. That's not why you use proper ball security. And maybe, after 7 straight bowl trips, some of our guys maybe took some things for granted. Maybe we took some things for granted as a staff. And so I think whenever you have a thud of a season like that, you really got to examine every little thing you're doing. And then part of it is we've always been a good football team when we're older. I said from day one, I don't know if the words young and successful will ever go together at Wake Forest holistically. Not that we won't have some young players, but last year was as young as we've been, and this year we're older again. And, because our collective became more competitive, we were able to keep guys like Jasheen Davis and Devontae Gordon and Taylor Marin and Donovan Green, whereas a year ago, a lot of those type of players we weren't able to hold on to. And, so the combination of being older, having 17 starters back, but then also hopefully I do a better job and our coaches do a better job of doing ball security, not false starting, not having MAs, and being a sound, fundamentally consistent football team that wins close games. That's always been our formula. And last year we got away from it, and that's probably what bothers me more than anything.
Well, you got to stay healthy too. Listen, you got to be fortunate in that department, especially at key spots. At quarterback, you can't have it just hey, who's our quarterback this way? It's tough.
Yeah, and again, losing Donovan Green early last year, but like every football team goes through that, and to say that's why you're not successful, it's just to me as a coach, I've got to prepare for the contingencies. Our job is to figure out how to put the best product on the field, and when you go 4-8, that's part of it's on me. I've got to do a better job and, maybe look back at, okay, why did it happen? How do we fix those things? And, if you're not going to be successful, at least have it be for a different reason. Don't keep doing the same things over again. And it bothered me, and it still bothers me. And I take it personally, and you don't enjoy an off season when you have a year like that.
Yeah.
And so, it's nice to talk about food and meals, but you don't enjoy a lot of meals when you're coming off of 4-8. So hopefully at this point next year, I can tell you all the great meals I had.
Coach, that will be a plan. Right?
Yep.
That's the game plan.
Yep.
All right.
Appreciate you making the time, Coach. Thanks again.
Okay, thanks for having me on.